Hello and welcome to my first Let's Play on Wurm Unlimited. What is Wurm Unlimited, I hear you ask? Well, it is a standalone version of the game Wurm Online. It's a survival game. If I may quote off of their Club AB's website, which are the makers of the game, Wurm Online is the MMO RPG where the players are in charge, developed around the idea of player influence. It remains one of the only sandbox MMOs worthy of the term, and I do truly agree with that. I've been playing for the last 7 years on and off Wurm Online, and it is a fantastic survival game. It really is. There is really no other game with the quality level and the content that this game has. This Wurm Online, okay, the online version, which you can is free to play if you want to try it, but it level caps your skills at 20. So you can play for as long as you like, but it caps your skills at 20. If you want to go beyond 20, then it's a subscription based, but even then it's really cheap. Anyway, it's I believe translated into pounds, it's about £5 a month, so really cheap. But of course I'm playing Wurm Unlimited, which is the standalone version. You pay an initial cost for the game, which again, in my opinion, is really cheap. The reason I say that is because I know the amount of content that is in this game, and it's just awesome. It really is awesome. I'm so excited to be able to do a Let's Play on one of my favourite games that I've just truly do love this game. It is just fantastic. It's like a giant Meccano set that you're given all the different recipes and tools, and some of them are not obvious, and I'll be giving you links in my description underneath the video on my page. The links, one to the Wurm Online actual website, one to Wurmpedia, which is a fantastic resource. I mean, it is one of the best you're going to see. It really is. It covers everything to do with the game. It's fantastic. Also, what I say, this is a standalone game, but you can join public servers, and what's more, you can actually join a friend or friends if you wish. Someone sets up the server, and you can password protect it, or not if you wish, just anyone to be able to join it. But if you want just for you and your friends, you can password protect it. And Wurm Unlimited was released this Wednesday the 21st of October 2015. Wurm Online has been around for about a decade, for the last 10 years. Like I say, I've been playing it for the last 7 years on and off. And so if you want to play it with a friend, I'm currently playing it with I'm in the UK, and my friend Rainstorm, you can see here, she is in America. So she set the server up, and I've joined her in order to do my Let's Play on her server, because it also shows you, the viewer, how straightforward it can be to achieve this. My friend is by no means a computer expert. She is knowledgeable, but she's not an expert. She doesn't claim to be an expert. But she's managed to set up a private server. There were a few difficulties. I won't say to you that it was simple for her to do, but she succeeded. And I'll also be putting a link underneath this video in the description to the Steam, because this is Wurm Unlimited was launched through Steam. And that's fantastic. And again, in my opinion, I do like Steam, and I'm slowly but surely transferring all my CD games, DVD games over to Steam, basically, because it's so fantastic. But so I'm going to put a link in the description to Steam, where there is a fantastic guide called Getting Started, and it's by Keenan. So I will be linking that. I'll be putting his name in the description as well. And he basically shows you how to set up a private server. You have to said open up ports, and don't panic, it's okay, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's not ports within your computer, it's on your router. So on your router, he will show you how to open up the ports that's necessary. And like I say, before you panic, my friend in America has succeeded, and it was fantastic. It did take a little bit of trial and error, but she got there in the end. So back to Wurm Unlimited, the standalone game. There is just so much. So I'm going to try to do a really thorough series on this, just out of my love and respect for the game. This is a game you're going to learn you have to respect, especially if you play Wurm Online. It can be harsh, which, you know what, this is supposed to be survival. Basically you're plonked out in the wilderness, wild animals all around you. Over there you can see a mature mountain lion, which would probably kill me, as you know, I've started a new character. All my skills are low, which we can go over in later episodes. So it truly is survival out in the wilds. It's just fantastic. You know, I can't say that enough, and I will keep repeating myself when it comes to that. Over here, so let's start then on what you see, the display, the GUI, and all of the little windows that are dotted around the screen. Let's explain some of them. So you're plonked out when you start. There's two types of server that you can join. You can join adventure mode or creative mode. If you start in adventure mode, you start with all of the factions. I have not, however, so I won't be covering that in this Let's Play. I'll let someone else cover factions. I did, with Wurm Online, I did play on the PvP server, and most enjoyable, but as you grow with the game, I've tended now to go for PvE, which, you know, player versus environment. I get much more enjoyment out of that because of all what you can do. So I won't be touching the other version of the game. I'm doing Wurm Creative server, and with that, of course, you can see in the distance it's just all wild. So the whole landscape is for me and my one friend on this server to make and create. We can create paths over to the I'm on an island here with her, and we can, one of the things we'll be doing later on is creating a land bridge or a brick bridge. I haven't actually ever created a bridge before, so that was added roughly about 6 months ago. I don't know, probably not as long, but maybe up to 6 months ago bridges were added into Wurm Online. So, but I like land bridges actually, that's what I'm used to playing. So we'll create land bridge over, and then we'll start creating roads off into the distance to help explore. Why would we bother placing down roads? Well, in this game you will learn fast that if you just go wandering off into the wilderness, number one, up here you'll see that there is a big green bar, that is my stamina, and then there's this blue bar which is my water level, and then there is this orange bar which is my food. Now you'll see my food's going down. I'm not worried because I know how to eat, how to capture food, how to make food, so I'm not too concerned about that. But for yourselves, if you're new to the game and you're plonked out in the wilderness, the last thing you want to do is very tempting to, because, you know, with this game being so fantastic and everything, you want to just go out there and explore. You want to find the villages, you want to see if there's any towns, you want to find some of the epic monsters that are rumoured to be out there. You just want to go and you want to explore. But if you do, you're going to encounter something like that. Except that is a mild monster, a mature mountain lion. That is not a strong one. It could be that you go out there and you come across a troll, in which case, if there's not water around for you to cower in to get away from the troll, because trolls don't go into water. Some of the mobs do go into water, some don't. For now I won't say which do and which don't. I'll leave that for a couple of episodes and then I will mention. But for now, not good to go wandering off, because if a monster does get hold of you, it's gonna mangle you, because you start really basic with your combat skills, unless you're on a server, a private server, where they've upped all the skills. But if you do that, you really are going to be missing out on the best bit of the game, which is the feeling of achievement as you level up all of your fighting and combat skills and magic if you choose to do that, and all of your other skills. You know, the thing with this game, with what I loved on Wurm Online, is it took me years to build up such a strong character, which you won't be taking years, because even on this creative, with the default setting at 10, it's like 3 or 4 times the original game speed for skilling up, so it's perfect. They have tuned it perfectly, it's flawless. So anyway, getting back to our main point, you won't be wandering off. Okay, so me and my friend, you can see her up in the top of the hill there, Rainstorm, we started on an island, fortunately, because there seems to only be a couple of aggressive monsters. You know an aggressive monster because when you hover over it, it turns red. So I'm going to go over here, far away from him, so I can carry on explaining a little about the GUI and the windows that we see appearing. So let's continue with that. Okay, so up here, I've explained already, you've got your stamina, and you see it says health after that. I'm 100% health because I haven't hurt myself. Then you've got water and food. What happens if you run out of water or food, or both? Well, you don't start to die like some games do, which is a bit harsh. Instead, if your food runs out and your water runs out, and you start to use your stamina bar, your green bar slowly goes down, it will not replenish if you are hungry, if you have no food or water. I believe if you have no food and it gets to the critical level, it will stop it regenning. So one good idea is always to stay near water. One, because like I mentioned earlier, it's a safe haven for if an aggressive monster comes along that cannot swim. And 2, you've got a ready-made water source. So whilst we're on the subject, let's take a walk down this hill. The love and attention to detail that's gone into this game, truly amazing. When you look at the trees, there's loads of different types of trees. There's oaks, elms, pine. This over here is, excuse me, is an olive tree. Now all the different types of trees have many different types of uses. An olive tree you can get olive oil from. With olive oil you can use it as a light source for filling up your lamps. So when you go spelunking in a cave, instead of it being pitch black, you can make yourself a lamp, an iron lamp, and you can then fill it with oil, and then you can use your steel and flint to light it, and then you'll get a good light source. But I'll be showing you that at some stage. But for now, let's carry on and show you how to drink. I'm showing you in this first episode the most important things for surviving your first day, because I remember when I first started playing Wurm Online all them years ago, it was very frustrating because I died frequently. And yes, it can be fun in a game, but also it can be a pain when you die too much. So most important things to start with, so you survive your first day and then hopefully can slowly grow and truly get a feel for this beautiful game and how to survive. So first of all then, food and drink. My food has gone down, my water level is on 93%, but if it gets low, in order to drink, put your cursor over a square that is submerged under the water, right click, and then just left click, drink. And you'll see it was very quick, but the bar down here shot across and it filled up my water level to 99%. So that's drinking. With food, you basically right click on it in your inventory, excuse me, sorry about that, and then you left click on eat. So here's my inventory. This is your start items when you first start playing Wurm Unlimited. You'll get a shovel, a hatchet, a carving knife, a steel and flint, a saw, a pickaxe, a rake, a tent, a deed stake, a compass, a rope, and a pottery bowl. Trust me, they've given you all of these items for a very good reason. which as we progress along you will see I utilise every single one of them. Not now, not in this episode. I will be using some of them in this episode, but not all of them. So the pottery bowl though, let's expand that because you see there's a little cross. Pottery bowl, I started foraging and botanising before I started this Let's Play, because I thought I will need to be able to show you the different types of food in order to help you survive your first day. We've covered water, the next thing is food, because you can see my food level is dropping and we want to keep that at an optimum amount, which is full up here, 99, with a nutritional value of 99 as well. What is nutritional value? Well, the best way to try and explain it, I do apologise if anything I try to explain does not come across correctly or the information is incorrect. I will try to the best of my ability to get this all correct from my experience. But of course the game has been updated. I don't keep up with all the updates because there has been... they are so active, the developers. They listen to the players, and when there's a gripe they immediately work on it. It's just fantastic. So yeah, I lost my train of thought then actually because I went into that too deeply. Back to food. So you'll see that I was foraging and botanising. That's what you get. So let's show you that. It's all well and good me saying it. Let's show you. That's how you will truly learn. So when you're plonked in this world, first 3 goals. 1, get near a water source. 1 for the safety aspect of it, being able to jump into the water, and you may need to run 3 or 4 tiles out before the monster can not reach you, unless of course it's a monster that can swim. Number 2, water level. Number 3, food. Now in this game it allows you on an average grass tile, I believe they changed it a while back so you can do this on a tile if it's got a tree. A tile, well that in Wurm, a tile is how the ground is divided, and it works beautifully. So many games have followed suit, because remember this game is 10 years old. It's set most of the rules that are out there for terraforming and all the rest of what you can do in an open world survival game. Wurm Online is the daddy. So this is a tile. The tile has 4 corners, as you can see, and each individual tile has 4 tile borders, which we will get into a little bit later. So you right click on the tile and you go to nature and then forage. See down here, forage bars going along. Okay, so we find some rice. Over here there's the rice that we just found. Let's close this. Here's the rice that we just found. What is it? Well, if you right click and go on find on Wurmpedia, it will then brings up this window, item rice, and then it explains about the item that you've just right clicked on and got the information up for. So you can see for this one, let's see, rice can be planted in shallow water like reeds. The required depth, blah blah blah. Okay, well I'm looking for food anyway, so we just did forage. Now we can go to nature and botanise. So each tile, potentially you can forage it and botanise it, but sometimes it will not let you do either or either. So sometimes it will let you forage, sometimes it will only let you botanise. Sometimes it will let you do both. Okay, so let's go to another tile. So if you can't do both, well what you do is you just move to the next tile along. Right click, go to forage, see it's going through. We find a blueberry, and there's the blueberry. Now let's try to botanise. No, we can't botanise there. So we turn around, do another tile. Okay, we got a pumpkin. Pumpkins are a very good source for food, for cooking. When you kill a monster and then you can skin it, and one of the possible items that you'll get from one of the mobs in this game is meat. Excuse me. When you get meat, You can put it into a frying pan along with one pumpkin and cook it on a fire, which we will be doing all of this, but I'm just quickly running over, and that will then turn into a meal. Now, going up here back to the food which I was explaining, nutrition. The better the quality of the food that you eat, the higher your nutrition can go up. What does nutrition do for you? Well, the higher your nutrition level is, the longer your food will take to go down. So that's good. So the better the food you can eat, the longer it is the gaps in which you will need to eat. So you'll be less hungry less often. And again, that is fantastic. So when you first start the game though, let's be honest, you're going to be eating basic food. You'll be eating it raw. So I can right click on that pumpkin and eat. My food will only go up a little bit. But if I took the trouble to build a campfire and cook and get some meat, I can hear Rainstorm is fighting a monster. So we'll be getting some meat off of that. I'll be able to cook it up with the pumpkin and make a meal. Everything in this game, it's time to explain quality levels. Everything in this game has a quality level. The highest is quality level 100, which you can see there. Okay, but in Wurm Online, the game I originally started playing, it is very difficult to get to 100 quality level. It takes a lot of time and a lot of endurance, because it should do. You don't expect to play a game and get to the highest access levels of the game, the highest tiers of the game. Where's the fun in that? It's the more fun you'll get out of a game is the longer it takes to get to that progression, because the feeling of achievement, if you enjoy playing the game, you will also enjoy then getting feelings of achievement as you progress. So you'll see down this list the quality levels. With the starter items, they've given you just items that will last you long enough in order for you to start organising yourself and taking care of yourself. In other words, making better tools. You are supposed to upgrade all of these. All these tools are starter tools. Make no odds about that. They all only have 10 quality level. With a lot of the items you can harvest, in order to harvest, say for example, if I cut that tree down, number one, because I'm a new player and my level is going to be really low, if I press the F2 key, it brings up the skills. Okay? Yeah, there's a lot of skills. Isn't that fantastic? Just what you want. And guess what? It's just like my other playthroughs, some of the games, where it does not penalise you. You're allowed to train and do them all. You can go where you want and play how you want. Just like they say on the website. Really, it is fantastic. So, here is a list of all the skills. And as you can see, all my skills are starting at 1. Couple digging, I've been doing a little digging because I wanted to get it up just before a stage to show you, because I wanted to show you as you improve the skill the reward that the game gives you and the feeling of achievement. To emphasise that, I've got my digging to 10, because when digging gets to 15 I'll be able to show you something wonderful that happens within the game, which I know you're going to enjoy. But anyway, getting back to the skills, so they're all starting on 1. It does start you fighting at 10, and it does start your characteristics at 20. Why? Because if it didn't, there's some things that you need to be able to do that you have to be able to do at the beginning. So they worked that out and they started you at 20 with some of them. But trust me, they go all up to 100, and it's depending on how the skill leveling is set to, what level it's set to, what speed to skill up, is to how long it's going to take to level them up. But I do hope you start on a server where it's not too quick. Hopefully the same as me here, defaulted at 10 times at 10, because you will have a lot of fun with all of these skills, experimenting. And with all these skills, if you say, if I'm showing you all of these, and milling for example, and you say, well, what's that? Well, simply right click on it and left click find on Wurmpedia. It will then tell you what milling is used for, and it will tell you what can be milled. How fantastic is that? So you start playing, You see rope making, you think, I like the sound of that. Right click, left click find on Wurmpedia, and there we are. It will tell you. I mean, as we go along, you'll see the resources that I use. It is brilliant. The same for all the items. If you can right click, you can do either examine, and it will tell you a little description down here. And you can also right click and do find on Wurmpedia, and it will then tell you from the wiki exactly what's happening, what it is. So yeah, fantastic. So the first important things: water level and food level. I've shown you now how to get rudimentary food, and also it can be used for components. Now, one of the main reasons for foraging and botanizing is not only so you've got something to eat right at the beginning of the game, but that is not, you're not going to survive for long if you keep foraging and botanizing. Well, you are going to survive, but it's going to be a painful way to survive, where you have to keep doing this because the food doesn't last long because its nutritional value is so low. So you need to find a better way to get food. One, of course, is killing mobs, killing wild animals, killing trolls, killing all the different types of mobs that are in the land, in the world. Another way is to take up farming, and that is why I am personally foraging and botanizing, and which is why I've got all of this stuff in my pottery bowl, because I shall be planting them and starting farming, which is, I do want to try and show you. I hope I've got the time to show you in this first playthrough. I'm making it a 30-minute playthrough just simply because there was so much to cover. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to farm. It does take time to grow the food, but when it's grown, we can then harvest it. We can then go cook it. We can start by cooking it in a basic campfire, but we can build ourselves an oven and cook it even better. What's an oven? Well, I'll get into that in a later episode. For now though, the third thing that's most important for use when you first start out in the game, okay, which is number 3, is that you need to find a safe area. If you're on the mainland, so if we come up here, notice as I'm climbing the hill, I'm using up much more of my stamina. Stamina, this big green bar, you'll see the rate is going down. If it was a really steep hill, I could click down here on climb. That would take me up a vertical wall, but it will use up the stamina very quickly, so be aware of that. You just need to train your stamina, your climb skill basically. So coming up here to look at the mainland, you will probably start on the mainland somewhere. If you do, my advice, find somewhere safe. Okay, what I chose for somewhere safe, me and my friend Rainstorm, we chose an island because we noticed very few wild animals, but there was a cow and a bull which we'll be able to breed to get ourselves leather and meat and other resources that we can get from them, and there was only a couple of low wild creatures. So at the moment this is a perfect place, but what we will still need to do, which is critical, is build ourselves an enclosure. What that is we need to build a fence around the outside of, say, a 3x3 set of tiles and put a gate on it. And we will also need to put a lock on that gate. Why? Why do we need a lock, you're probably asking, if we are on a server where there's no other players and no PvP? Because trolls, I believe, I'm not sure if there's other creatures that can do it, but trolls particularly can open a gate. So don't be fooled into thinking, oh, I've built my lovely little enclosure 3x3, I've put a lovely little gate up, let's go step inside. You step inside, you turn around, you see there's an aggressive monster out there, and or a troll in this case, and you stick your 2 fingers up at it and start laughing gleefully, and then just to realise that the troll steps up to the gate, opens it, walks inside and kills you with 1 hit. So just to save you that painful experience, put a lock on the gate. If it's locked, you don't have to keep unlocking and and locking the gate, because it will do that itself. If you put a lock on a gate, it sets it locked for anyone but yourself. There's my 30-minute alarm. Okay, I'm not going to go a lot past that because I'm going to do lots and lots of Let's Plays on Wurm Unlimited. This was just the first one, just to introduce you to, well, so far, the health up here, stamina, water, food, and inventory. There is just so much to cover. I hope that I've given you a good little introduction to the game. It's going to get so much better as we start creating and evolving and progressing, and it's just fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this, or at least learnt a little from my experience of playing Wurm. It is a beautiful, beautiful game. Until the next episode, take care and bye bye.